Does
Hey.
it? It says we're live, and we're testing our own intelligence levels today as technology is giving us a little bit of a challenge. And so today, hey guys, we are talking a little bit about intelligence in all of its forms. And I love that we're getting to talk about this because it's a very real thing. You know, whether we're talking artificial intelligence, real intelligence, social intelligence. What other types of intelligence do we have, ladies?
Natural intelligence, intellectual intelligence. The I can't hear Leanne. She's muted.
Awesome. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so in one of my public health classes, the areas that we had to do were physical wellness, mental wellness, social wellness, spiritual wellness, and intellectual wellness were the five focuses. And at first I thought, why do we have to talk about social wellness? And why do we have to talk about intellectual wellness?
Okay,
And
so
then as they started teaching, I was like, oh,
these are big things. So let me get us started here. Just say hi. I'm Jared. We want to connect with you, and this is about social wellness. It's about personal wellness. It's about connection, and all of that leads together. I am here today with two of my best friends, Renee Brummett and Leanne Mason, and this is our weekly Wellness Wednesday. Yes, we do this every week for you guys. We love coming here and connecting with you. And today's topic seems to be right on the head. It sounds like Leanne's had some discussions with some of her coursework that have been part of the impetus towards us discussing this today, and I think that it's timely. So let's jump into it. Talk about this wellness.
so Rone, I want to take your lead on this because you had a great take on it when it comes to words and intention, right?
Yeah. So you were talking about uh intellectual wellness or intellectual intelligence, right? And one of the things that I thought of, and I had had an experience with one of my clients, is our words. Our words are so important. Your words breathe life or death into anything. It's absolutely amazing. And so often we are so quick to speak the negative. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, it doesn't matter. Or I'm not worth it. Or negative, 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 negative. And what I have been doing more and more with my clients is speaking that positivity into where can you find joy in your journey today? Where can you find joy in the little things? Like the simple fact that you can breathe air deeply into your lungs without pain. Like that should be a moment of joy. I One of the things I love to do is do that with essential oils, right? Just having that essential oil go deep into my lungs and help open my airways or open my limbic system as I'm breathing in joy or bliss. Let's talk about breathing in some bliss because citrus bliss is my absolute go-to for joy. But that's not everybody's jam, right? But as you are looking for positive things to bring into your life, you can anchor it with a really good essential oil. So that was the point I wanted to make today is just what are your words saying about you, saying about your day? I also need to clarify we are not doctors. We cannot diagnose or treat. We are educators here sharing information with you, sharing where to get the information. And if you have any questions, just comment what your question is, and we want to answer it for you.
Exactly. As you were saying that, it brought up there are studies that are being done right now on the addiction to stress hormone. We are addicted to the stress in our bodies. And some of that is because we are in a high stress situation constantly. Our bodies, we're not down regulating our nervous system. And so we then become addicted to the fight or flight. So rather than the natural dopamines from joy and positivity, we are actually seeking negativity, which is that's not healthy for our bodies to be in fight or flight constantly.
Yeah, I was mentioning before we started recording here, you guys, I'm like a huge Trekkie fan. Like I'm a Trekkie geek all the way. And there was an episode on Next Generation where there was a game, right? And they would people would share the game with others. And the game was so simple. All you had to do was get this little ball to go into a hoop. And it was all like they put this thing on their head and it was just with your brain, right? And you're doing that and then you'd get like a little dopamine hit. And it got to the point where they would replicate this and give it to the next person, the next person, the next person, until the entire ship was so addicted to this game that somebody came in and just stole the ship. Well, this is what's happening with our brains right now. We're so addicted to being on our phones or playing a game that we are ignoring the people who are in the room with us. Like, so often I see families or friends and they get together. Like, if you go to a restaurant, I want you to watch this. How many people are talking to each other, or how many people are sitting there on their phone while people are sitting next to them on their phone who are sitting next to the other, right? We've lost the art of communication and just being able to be together without being on technology, which I do also recognize that we are doing right now. We are on technology. But I also see that there's a difference because we're having an open conversation here.
And there's technology, of course. So some of the things are we are losing our intellectual intelligence because we're not doing puzzles. And I'm not talking about puzzles on your phone, games on your phone. There is something to be said about multi-sensory experiences. So the tactile doing an actual puzzle, the tactile of playing a strategy game where you're getting social interaction and tactile and supporting your brain. So, some of the things that support intellectual intelligence, reading, and they talked about the importance of actual paper books, not on your phones, because there's something what? Tactile about turning the pages. Our minds
Also,
process differently. Writing.
writing
Hmm.
versus typing it into your phone or typing into the computer, physically writing with your hand to put down notes and stuff. That is really important.
Yep. Then just other things like that were super important. So just think about it. What can you do to support the brain and that intellectual intelligence? So, Jared, what are some thoughts you have?
I am all about getting to connect. And one of my favorite things, and I got to do this just the other day, I had one of my kids, come over and say, "Can I get an aroma touch?" And that healthy connection that we get to make is so important. I think that's one of the biggest things that we saw, during the pandemic, is that people lost connection. People lost healthy touch because so many people were living in fear of the next thing that was going to come down, that was going to happen, and we missed it. I missed getting hugs. I missed getting to connect with people the same way. And so for me, that physical touch is so important, to that healthy connection, to social connection. I mean, yes, the touch, you have to be aware of everybody's personal boundaries, and respect those types of things. So I'm not just going to walk up to a stranger that I don't know. I'm going to get to know him a little bit first, but there's a good chance I'm going to give him a hug. And especially as we get to connect with people, that there's realness in being real. And so I love being real with people, having those real connections, those real conversations, and that connection that I get to have through Aroma Touch and other things that are similar is huge. Using my oils bringing in that olfactory sense is just another way that we sharpen the brain and the senses, because it's not just about, what can I feel, but what can I experience. And olfactory is a fantastic way to fire up that limbic system and really get things moving, just creating a cascade of therapeutic benefits through the body. Those are two of my favorite ways, or a few of my favorite ways of being able to do that.
I love that. So, studies are showing benefits to using essential oils to support memory, neuroplasticity. Now, neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to adapt and to learn, right? So, rosemary helps with memory, attention, and alertness. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but rosemary is clean smell, but it also is invigorating. So it helps, but it also helps with respiratory. So that's the thing I love about essential oils is there's multi layers of what it supports, right? Peppermint. If you guys
Absolutely.
have ever smelled peppermint, again, alertness, focus, helps with memory and mental fatigue. Frankincense supports um, neuroinflammation. Frankincense, studies have shown frankincense is one of the few oils that pass the blood-brain barrier. Jared, you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, if you've ever had this opportunity to have this experience, I highly recommend it. And yes, I can talk about the chemistry and the reasons why it does this, but I totally support people having an actual experience. So, take a drop of peppermint, take a drop of frankincense, put the two together, rub your hands together, take a big breath out, and deep breath in. And it is amazing, that effect that using frankincense together with the peppermint will have. It is profound. And guys, if you've never had this experience and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, it's been a little while since I've really used an oil, I wonder if they still work. You're not going to question anymore if they are having a biological impact on you as a person if you do this, because I can only describe it as a zing. You realize and feel these effects immediately. And it's not, just maybe I'll feel something later. This is right away. And being able to activate and reach those parts of the brain and just have it do all the things that it does. I'm all about the experience. Give me that chance to put some oils on you and have you experience that. You're going to know firsthand, and then we can talk about why. Then
Right.
we can really get into the pathways that it's using and doing that. But people, you need to have this experience. It is so cool.
I love that. We also have doTERRA has the most studied on cognitive thinking and how it affects study and concentration is the adaptive line, right? That adaptive line, if you want the studies, let us know. We'll get you those studies. They did a double blind study and there's a soft gel, there is a roller that's cut with fractionated coconut oil, and then the actual just straight blend that you can do just in the diffuser. It's game changer. It's been a game changer for me studying. And my son, who struggles with test anxiety, he just overthinks everything, loves, and he's 17, so he adds a little bit more on now, but he would always put from the kids collection, which I absolutely love, sits here on my desk, thinker and calmer together. He wanted to support the brain thinking, but calm his emotions, right? So when it comes to supporting our intelligence, our wellness, all of these things, it goes back to the basics. The stuff that we grew up doing, being outside, doing things with our bodies support that intellectual intelligence. Our bodies need multiple sensory inputs. So, Rone, what's your favorite thing to do to support your intellectual wellness?
Oh, there's so many. I think for me, because I am a 5 relationship builder, 3 influencer with my strengths, it is getting together with people, having fun discussions, playing games, um, just that togetherness, where you're, off technology, unless it's a game that, again, we're all playing together. That's probably my favorite. What
I
about you,
love that.
Jared?
Uh, that is an awesome question. Um, what can we do? You know what? Being right here, being present, being in the moment, really supporting being where we are, and choosing that every day. I mean, I have discussions on a regular basis with people that are struggling because they're always thinking about the problems of tomorrow or the problems of yesterday, and not focused on what they could be doing in this moment to be able to make changes that will impact that. And I think being present is one of the things that I love to be able to do. I would rather be right here doing what I do, rather than borrow tomorrow's problems.
I
What
love
about you,
that.
Leanne?
So for me, um, one of the things I love is I do use adaptive before I learn. And I love the fact that the three of us decide on what our topic's going to be, right? One of the things that they've shown is you study something and then you teach back. And that's all what we do here with the Aroma Vibe, with our classes and with our Wellness Wednesdays is we study something a little bit deeper, we learn it, and then we teach it. And when we teach it, it then solidifies it in our brains. And so that has been something that I've really enjoyed as we've done these Wednesday wellnesses. And I didn't even realize that that is part of intellectual wellness. If you just learn something and keep it to yourself, it doesn't actually solidify. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, there are a lot of ways you study for a test and you learn it, you learn it, you learn it, you take the test, and then you kind of purge it because you don't need it
Yeah,
anymore. So you have to teach it or share it to solidify it. And so I love that. And the adaptive just helps so that as I'm learning, I'm not squirrel thinking because I do that quite a bit too. It helps my focus so that then I am able to come and teach back.
Very cool.
fantastic. I think the other thing, let's talk for just a moment about brain aging.
Okay.
Because I realize that I do have sometimes CRS, can't remember stuff, and that happens. I've noticed it seems to happen more frequently the older I get, and I'm gonna blame it on age related. And I'll tell you what, I have been loving my Shinrin Yoku. Absolutely. I find that on those nights that or the days when I've used it the night before, some of those ideas, the things that I've been thinking about, tend to show up easier, clearer. I'm able to solidify those thoughts a little bit more frequently and completely. And that has been really fun to be able to see. And it's really cool because what they're showing is that Shinrin Yoku helps with that brain aging.
I love that.
With reversing it. Yeah. Well, we
Yep.
want to know from you what are you doing for your intellectual intelligence? How are you keeping up with that? Share your thoughts in the comments because we'd like to know.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us. As always, if there's a topic you would like us to research and you would like more information on, or you would like to research it and teach us, let us know.